can you see there? Or are you seeing the heater? I wonder, can I put you anywhere else? Yes, I can. Is that better? Look at this. Right. The cake bushes are in for the forks. I'm going to pull up a pew and show you the difference. I've shown you the others, shown you how worn they were. Have we still got one? Right, you can see that one, look. See the wear in it. Outside's not too bad, but you know. And there's a new one. Spatlash. Anyway, these don't take much fitting, to be honest. And I'll show you this here. Jim, get the new one. I'll bring you over here. There. Oh, you're going to fall off. No, you're not. Oh, that's good. Oh. Jim, this is going to go wrong. New one. Doesn't take any effort. This is the equivalent to your sliding tube on a normal fork. There you go, look. Ooh. There you go. One bushing. And then what we do now, I now have to put the sliding tube into the other bit. This bit is the equivalent of your fork leg on a normal fork where you've got your axle hole down here. This is just not starts about face because it's just being awkward. And the other bush goes into that recess, the lower recess. But you need to put the tube in first because you won't get it past the bush if you put the bush in first. Don't ask me how I know. I learnt from experience a long time ago. So basically now what we're going to do is this is where you need your slide hammer and stuff like that. You put the other bush in there, then there's a washer, then there's the seal, then there's the circlip, and apart from the dust seal on top, that's it pretty much. Then we can shove some oil back in it. So yes, this can come out. This is only, it's gripped nice and gently in the face. No, is this left hand fork? So all I've got to do is look up the oil quantity for the left hand fork because they're different. Left and right forks are different because one acts as a damper, one acts as a rebound. It's not an all-in-one unit. So yes, we can crack on now, which is jolly good. Jim, shut the camera off. Folks, obviously I've just shown you how easy it is to get the bushing on like this. Of course, this being an unconventional upside downy, is what we need to do. I've shown you how easy it is to get on. It'll be that easy to get off because now what we've got to do is reverse stack on here the order in which it's got to go back together, because obviously on a normal conventional fork you'll be putting everything on from this end. Well, we can't do that. So what I've got to do now, we remove this and then we basically reverse it. So we do the dust seal, then we put the seal, we do the dust seal, then the circlip, then the seal, then the washer, then the bush, and then we'll get the slide hammer and we put all of those in one. Ooh, looks like somebody's had a pair of Stilsons there. It doesn't matter if you, I mean, the working part of the fork on this is literally starts there down to there. There's not a lot. So if you've got any damage or pitting or anything like that above this area, doesn't matter. Nice. Ooh. Because this is a pretend upside down, we've got to remember that the lip of the seal has to be pointing down on this one. Usually if this was a conventional fork sanction, all this would be arse about face, but make sure the seal is down, because that's going up. Then we don't have to worry about the clip. The clip can go on afterwards, but that will be going there. Now we need the washer. Okay, so now you can see how it all sits. Obviously the dust cover's up there. When we've seated the seal, this seal now has got to go about down here. We've got the seal drivers, so I'll give them a go, but I'm going to put a very thin piece of tissue around the tubing, just so I can get a good action going. What I may do is just remove this decorative shield, and then you get the idea. What I've done first, got the seal out the way, and then we've got the inner bushing and the washer, probably won't see it just there, and I've just put them to home using the two of them, tapping round, and then now what we've got is a nice gap for the seal to go in. Nice.
A few moments later.
Well, I think I've just seated it, but I've never ever had a seal that difficult to put in, and it is the correct one. So, I don't know. Oh, and also, when I split the forks, fucking great water mud to come out from underneath. God knows what's happened. But it was there was about an inch of mud at the bottom of that fork, so it had been leaking for a while, or it had been letting dirt in for a while. So yes, hopefully that's seated it now. I'm still never doing another one. Oh, and I must add, this looks like it's under extreme pressure. It isn't. I'm literally just pressing it in. It's not under a massive amount of pressure at all. And basically, as soon as you feel resistance, you stop. I'm just letting it go in, as it naturally would. Obviously, it needed Eddie Hall to do it. Well, that's it. Doing a bit of gentling has... Jim, camera at the fork. Doing a bit of gentling has actually done it. All I've done is very lightly press this in, and I don't know if you'll see it on camera, but the circlip there is now, it's clipped into its home. So all the bushings are in, the lot, she's sliding nice. So I've got to cut the seal thing. That was quite an handy bit of kit actually. I think if you had a little hydraulic press, this would be an easy job, but it still wouldn't split the fork. So all I've got to do is remove the silvery bit there with the shop cable tied together to stop it flying all over the shop, put the dust seal back on, and then we can start to add some oil. And you know what, if it leaks after this, there's really nothing I can do at all, because you know, it's all the right bits. It should now work, but we've heard that before, haven't we, children? Titties.
12 seconds later.
Right, bottom part all back together, and to check the integrity of the seal, I knew I couldn't get away without doing that. Basically what I've done, slide the stanchion up. It basically only works from about there and it's fitted to the bine. But slide the stanchion up, it doesn't matter about this bit, and I spray some foaming plastic cleaner on it, all round it, and then we push it down, and we're looking for a good clean action. Now it will not go this low in use, but as I pull it up, it should leave none of it behind. Perfect. Oh, I could have done that as an Alan Mellyard moment. 1 second, please. So I've sprayed glass cleaner onto the stanchion and it's wiped it off lovely. Now we pull it up and hopefully there should be none on it. Oh, the fork top came up beautifully. Lovely. Let's go and have a cupcake. That's enough of that, Jim. So yeah, anyway, we're ready to start putting all the gubbins in, putting the oil in, but I'm going to do that tomorrow because I'm very booked off at the moment. John, I love you to bits, but if you ever ask me to do anything like this again, I'm going to set fire to you in your car. And you're paying for the petrol. Folks, back on the fork, it's time to put the oil in. He's got the correct weight oil. You can use 10, you can use 20, whatever, 10 weight. He's only a lightweight anyway. And we can now start putting the fork back together. But what I'm doing, I'm just cleaning up these little threads. I'll just put some foaming cleaner in there, that'll be fine. Pour straight out. Oh look, there's the other spare seal. Could tidy up a little bit. Nope. And yes, there's the cap. I'm just give that a quick clean as well. Everything that goes in will be clean. And what we need to do now is pull the stanchion up, and then what it will do, there's threads in this as well, which is what the castle nut threads into. So we're going to shove the fork up, and then I can start putting in all the bits, which is without looking at the diagram, I'm going to guess at the order. Are we ready? I think it's spring, spacer, damper rod. Now on the parts marker fiche, it goes spring, small washer, spacer. No washer came out, so what I'm going to do is get something that's roughly the same diameter like that. It is literally only a washer for the tube to sit on, so you know it doesn't slip either side. I'm going to put one of these washers in. It'll be the same thickness, but that washer was missing, so we're going to put a washer in, and then we know it's good. So that's what I'm doing. So now I need to find a precise measuring equipment to measure out the correct amount of oil. Now this is the left fork. So I went online, and basically, like I say before, one is damping, one is rebound. So they've got different valves and stuff in, hand gestures, and different levels of oil. And as you can see, the left fork takes around 100ml more. You don't have to be super spot on. This is a dry build amount, and it's millilitres, in case you're wondering. So I mean, usually a litre will do both forks, not in this case because you're about 100 short. And then what we do when the oil's in, we give it a quick pumpy, settle the level, and then what we're going to do is measure. I've got some really big cable ties, or it can be anything like these, like welding rods type things. Measure 170 millimeters, mark it, that's international sign language for mark it, and then what we're looking for is an oil level in a compressed fork, so this stanchion all the way up, of 170 mil. That's quite important because you're leaving the correct air gap. My father, on one of his motorbikes once, I'm just looking at me, my dad once, my dad was brilliant with wood, stuff like that, DIY, forget it. If he could use 20 different size screws to put a shelf up, he would. And I can remember him once having, he had a lovely little Honda when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I can remember it. And I used to Duraglip the wheels and the exhaust at the weekend and stuff. Well, once he did the fork seals on it and then complained he had no suspension. And what he'd done, he did the fork seals, got the fork split and everything alright, and then he completely filled the fork with oil. Where I get my mechanical prowess from. Anyway, I'm now going to go into the kitchen and get Mother's best measuring jug. No, I'm not, because I value my life. Yes. Right, that's the measuring jug. It looks filthy. It's clean inside, mostly. Well, it will be after I shove a rag in it. That's just staining at the bottom. There's no other oil in it. We've got a 1 litre mark. That's a litre of oil. We need 601, so there's half, so that's 500, and then we can work 100 mil out, as long as we're ballpark, as long as I get, what is critical is the oil level, and you might find yourself putting less in or more. If you've just done a seal change, or you're just changing the fork oil, you will not have to put those amounts in, basically, but you do it by the height. Yes, and I've noticed John's bought Smith and Allen lubricants. British, by the way, great value. I have just actually had delivered 5 litres of their semi-synth. Because I run older bikes, I don't put synth in them unless it calls for it. But I think the ZZR is semi, I think the Aprilia is semi. Phyllis will run on cow shit and straw, so she's alright, and I've just got a couple of filters for Phyllis. Would you like to see how tiny the oil filters on Phyllis are? Look at this. Bubble wrap. Somebody told me something really funny the other day about bubble wrap. It's like, you know how, like, I order tools and stuff from Temu, and I've never had a bad one. I mean, I've just ordered this set of pliers, and they're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's about like 12 quid for about 5 long reach pliers. Anyway, he was saying, you know, you like to pop the bubbles on bubble wrap. He goes, that's Chinese air. And it got me thinking. Anyway, we won't go down that road. I've had to put the heater on, which is probably what you can hear, because it's only 4 degrees. So, yes, I did already open one to have a look. Here it is. But this this gives you some idea of the size of the oil filter on Phyllis. Come on, Jim, you can do it. You can do it one-handed. Look at that. Look how tiny that is. Look, it's tiny. I could put it against my willy for scale, but this would be bigger. So, yes, so Phyllis takes less than a litre. So I've pretty much got enough to do the ZZR, which I want to do, and I've got a filter for that up there. And Phyllis, I can do that with 5 litres pretty much. And I've got a little bit of oil in the shed as well anyway. So yeah, well, there you go. That's a little aside from what I was doing. Jim, it's not unusual. I mean, quite often in your videos you don't get to the point. Yes, anyway, so that's what we're doing. So I'm now going to start assembling the fork. I'm going to have a quick look on the telephonic device because I've saved the picture of the schematic, and we'll start putting the fork back together. Everything's in there. I'll give everything a little clean. Oh, look, this is the old bushes. Yes, old bushes. And like I say, we'll just I'll just take it from there. So I'm going to put you down now, and then have a quick look at the schematic, and then I may do a little, I might do a little, a little fast bit of me putting the fork back together and swearing and taking the cap back off and fucking swearing again. And show you the schematic, and as you can see, we're looking at the left-hand bit. As you can see, there's the bushing, then the spring, then a washer, then the spacer tube, and then the damper rod assembly, and then the damper rod assembly screws into the top cap, and then that's it basically. But what we're going to do, we've got to leave the top cap off, but we've got to put everything else in and then put the oil in. So I just thought I'd show you that. Yes, this is called, by the way, a shower conventional upside down. Yes, yes. Might have got that wrong, Jim. Probably. Anyway, lovely. Ooh. Oh, you bugger. That one don't fit. Slightly too big. This is the interesting bit. That's the castle nut that screws into the inner slidey bit stanchion. And now what I'm going to do is ratchet strap it so I can compress this rod to just take the spring tension off, just to screw this back down. This does not have to be gorilla tight. It was way too tight. I've took the special tool back now because we're not really going to need it. It's only got to go hand tight, because then after that there's spring pressure on it which will tighten it. Nice. Right, switch the camera up, Jim. Set your rig up. There's a good lad. There you go. We've got a little bit of tension on the rod. It's just shoving the damper rod down, and it's enough to get this started. So I'm going to carry on working on. I'm just going to seat it, then release the tension, and then all that's got to go on then is a little rubber bung there, but we'll got to put the oil in first. So yes, we'll do that. So that's what I'm doing, is just taking the tension off by compressing the rod. I haven't gone down far, it's just enough so the spring is back enough for me to put this on. But yes, I can now just twist that in. I'm going to get a little screwdriver and then go. So that's what I'm going to do. Seated on the bottom of its thread, so it doesn't want to go any tighter. And then I'm now going to release the spring pressure. Right, it's now time to measure up approximately 600 millilitres of oil. A little tip: these foam caps, you get it on all sorts of oil, engine oil, the lot. If you're going to be pouring it straight from the bottle, I'm just making sure there's no loose bits. I have seen these fall into engines and they cause havoc. They'll block oilways or fucking engine. So just make sure you take it all. If there is any left, make sure there's no loose bits. Right, let's pour out 600. Ooh, that's cool. Right, that's 5. And then what I'm going to do is pour it in the fork, let it settle a minute. I'm going to have a brew, let it settle. I've extended the fork. What I'm going to do is there's valve holes, when the fork's extended, there's valve holes exposed. So what I'm going to do is put something under the fork so all the valve holes are behind the seal. So I've got a handy little blue container which I shall use. Jim, what? You, that's it, come on. That's it, come on. I'm going to edit this bit. This is fun, boys and girls. I'm just letting it settle a bit. I've still got a bit more to put in. That's still the 500mm lot, and I'm doing it, and it's just glugging past all the bits. Now what I can't do now is really take it sort of beyond this, because obviously this is the shit shield, so this is your travel. There are shit rings on the fork, but that's the dirt that was on the fork. I've tried to clean it as best I can, but you will bear in mind we put grease and everything on it. This is called the wiper. Some people call it a dust seal, and some people call it a wiper. So you've got your actual seal and then your wiper, a bit like when you have an oil seal on a like a piston, stuff like that. So it works the same. Now until the seal seats, now bear in mind we greased it, so the seal lip should have sat correctly. But what I'm going to do is add the rest of the oil, and then I'm going to double check with the service manual, because I may be wrong. I'm pretty waggy finger. I'm sure it said you check the oil level with the fork compressed. Now you can't do that with the damper rod and stuff in, but you don't take any of that out to change the fork oil. You literally just take the cap off, pour it out and do it. So I'm guessing that you've got to do it at its extension, and like bear in mind you've got to work out what the working stroke is, but I'll get round that. I'll sort that out. But yeah, I've got that much more to put in. And if we go gluggy gluggy gluggy, look, you listen to this, it's fantastic. Come on, Jim, get your fluid in the hole. Ain't that a glorious noise? I love it, because I know oil's going in and nothing's pissing out the bottom. Now, if this fork does leak, now it's had new bushes and stuff like that, I'm wondering if it got damaged in the past. I can't do anything about it, because I rang a local Suzuki shop and I said, why am I having so much trouble doing this? And he says, no, he says, we put them in a press. So yeah, I've done the right thing by pressing it in, basically. Like I say, I didn't use excessive force. It was literally just enough just to seat it. And then what we're listening for when I'm doing it, I'm listening to the circlip clicking into its thing, which I heard, and that's the time to stop. You stop there, and then like I say, it wasn't under a great deal of pressure anyway, but yeah, but we'll still get a little bit of shitulation around the stanchion until everything settles in. So yeah, so I'm going to crack on, put the rest of the oil in, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the cap on, you know, fit it all back together as it should go, put the cap on, and then I'm going to give it some gorilla. You're good at that, Jim, aren't you? Have you done that before? Shoot it. Right, it's been milliseconds for you, it's been a little while for me. Basically, oil levels correct, everything's all settled down. Now what we've got to do is the end cap threads onto the end of this rod here, and the locking nut obviously butts up against it. Now the end cap is alloy, so you only literally screw it on until it seats, no more hand gesture. And then what we've got to do is run the locking nut up to meet it, and then you get your 24mm on there, you get your 14 on there, and you just pinch them together. You then screw that cap into the outer stanchion, and that's the fork done. So I'm going to do that. There's a little bit of burring on the thread, so what I'm going to do is just run the nut up and down, up and down, up and down a couple of times, just so it's got a nice... Jimmy, stop doing that. Just so it's got a nice thread to go on. Once they're locked together, that's it. But I want to make sure that's a nice thread. So I know that if I feel any resistance, it's against the cap and not the thread. If you get me meaning. No, Jim. No. Not down now, it wasn't too bad at all. So we can screw this on, and then you can see how it goes. Now this is obviously alloy, and it's a steel rod going into it, but fortunately they don't tend to corrode because there's always oil around it. So all I'm doing is just backing this down, and I've got my 24mm already, I'm just going to do it till I feel a touch of resistance when we get the ratchet the right way around. I'm using my big ratchet as well, and it's quite heavy holding it up here. Oh, that nearly sounded like Alan, didn't it? I got my big ratchet out, and it feels quite heavy. It's heavier than a cupcake. Right, I'm just starting to feel a touch of resistance. There we go. It's just tried to turn the damper rod, so that's seated. And now what I'm going to do is hold it and then back the locking nut on, and then that is done. That can be screwed into there, and that's a bit where you've got to be super careful because they're fine threads. Bit of wire. Oh, she's bugger. Oh, I'll get that later. Well, it's okay that everything's turning in there, because to be quite honest, this is slippy because naturally I am the clumsiest of fucked, and I did spill a tiny bit of oil when I did it. Stop it. But when this cap's on, and we've pumped it a few times just to get the oil all around where it should be, it's good to go. What I shall advise John to do is 24mm spanner, and just nip this up when he's mounted it in the yokes, when the yokes have gripped it. I'm going to do the best I can here, but I can't really get a grip on it, and I don't want to put Stilsons or anything on it. But I mean, that should be pretty good now. What I might do is just drop my spanner. Just gently nip this in the vise and just tighten that cap up. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. And I hope it doesn't leak, because I haven't got an answer if it does. But yes, also, I'm never doing another one again. Right. Jimmy is a happy bunny. It's now Saturday. It's only about 6:30 in the morning. It's getting light. We've had quite a bit of rain overnight. And I've just dropped the forks off into work so John could pick them up. So, good riddance to the bloody things. You fucking things. In summary, I have never, when did I start motorcycling? Well, I've been motorcycling actually since, stop doing the old chicken eating. I think I was about 8 when I could actually first reach the pegs on my dad's little Honda. And then he used to put it into gear, and I used to ride around the garden, which used to amuse the old dear no end, because she was very, very proud of the garden and what have you. We've got, because we're an end plot, the 2 end houses, we've got quite big gardens, and it's like yeah, she was dead impressed with immaculate flower beds and lawns and stuff like that. And then there's a set of tyre tracks. And then after that, I never did the moped thing. Never did that. Got a car straight away, because obviously I was already employed before I left school. So did that. Never did the moped thing, and then, after a series of unreliable shit heaps, you know, like £100 cars, £50 cars, when you could do that kind of thing. I thought, well, I need something reliable to get to work on, and I bought my first road bike in 1990. So ever since then, I sort of started tinkering, and then gradually sort of I taught myself for a while, and then I was employed as a driver mechanic, and then I learned a little bit more there, and I've done my own stuff for years. Anyway, in all the years I've been motorcycling, which is the point I was getting to. Really, Jim? There was a point? That's the worst set I've ever done. Ever. Ever. I mean, and I've worked on some proper shit boxes. You know, I've done a lot of work on friends' little bikes when we were on 125s and stuff. You know, never saw an MOT or anything like that. Crikey, and even they came apart better. But yes, it's done now, and I'm satisfied with it. I've left it overnight with the oil in. I've pumped it a few times. There's no leaks, so we'll see how it gets on. So yes. So, in conclusion, I'm never doing another fucking pair again. Nice. Anyway, I've got to show you a couple of little buys I've had. I'm sorely lacking in torches, especially workshop torches, and that workshop light I bought, it's a bit big and bulky. It's alright, it's good, but it roasts your face off. And the main one in the middle, that stopped working after about 20 seconds, and I can't be asked to go in there and have a look. So I'm pretty sure I ordered 2 of these. I'm fairly sure I ordered 2, but only one came. Sounds familiar. And it's, you know, like a proper workshop one with a magnet on it and all this lot. I think that it was about a tenner. I think it was Amazon. Fairly sure it was Amazon. And it's not that bright because I've got old batteries in it. Basically, I've got to get some batteries. But I thought, dead handy, magnetic. So if you're working on the car or even working on the bike, you can put it. And I've got another set of these. Oh God, they're heavy. Magnetic tool rails. Which is really good because I've just took them out of the box, put them on top of the cooker, and I couldn't lift them off the cooker. I've already got sort of one there and one just beside you, just to hold the tools I use the most, you know, like pliers, screwdrivers. And it's the idea is to try and keep the bench a bit clear. So I'm going to put another one up here because they can go vertically and all that lot, just to keep shit out of the way. So this is the conclusion of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it, because I didn't. And I've edited an awful lot out. But yes, one day I'll look back and laugh. But today's not that day. Anyway, I'm cooking my breakfast, so before I burn the house down, have a great bank holiday weekend. I'll see you on the next one. Oh, next job. Before I forget, because I'm bound to, the repair kit for Spurt's fuel taps come in, so I'm going to do that this weekend. I might fit some heated grips as well to something, and I don't know which one yet. Could be Phyllis, but it's such a pain in the arse removing the bodywork. At least if I'm already working on the Z, I could probably fit them to the Z, but the Aprilia is probably a better commuter. So I don't know yet. I haven't made the decision, and it's not exactly cold yet either. Oh God, I might go back to bed. Oh, banking a lemon sip. Ta-ra. Yeah, just a quickie about the fuel tap repair. Listen, you know what my videos are like. When I say I'm done, I'm never done. I got this off eBay. It's from a motorcycle spare shop, obviously, Jim. Went for the Tour Max because I've used them before, and they're okay. You know, they do the job. And the only bit I'm going to put in really is this diaphragm bit with the holes, because that's the bit that's fucked. I'm not going to take the tap off the bike because it's not leaking. Sometimes when you take the tap off the bike, The seal at the top, it's flat, it's useless, it doesn't come with a repair kit, and we're just going to be in a world of pain if that starts leaking. So I'm just literally going to do that one. Just a little heads up, got it on eBay, and this exact same kit, the price was fluctuating between about £4.95 and 20 quid, and it's exactly the same kit, exactly the same part number. So just scroll through, you know, and find one. You don't have to buy the cheapest. Sometimes with the cheapest you pay postage, so you have to add that on and work it out. Hand gestures. But yeah, I bought that. I don't think I paid a lot for it. I don't think I paid a lot for it at all. If I remember to put it down below here, there, I'll put it down. But yeah, so do your shopping and get yourself a bargain.